Welcome back, everybody. My name is Kelly McAllister. I am at the United Way of West Tennessee's office right here in Jackson, and joining me, the beautiful Wakeema Hollis, Jackson's own, from New York City, which is now her new hometown. Well, not really new hometown, but has been your hometown for a while, or where you're
Right.
living. Your hometown is always Jackson. We can't
That
pass
I
that
was
up for
just going to
sure.
say that Jackson will always be home.
Always. And we will never let you forget that, just so you know. Oh, we have had the privilege of getting to talk to Wakeema. This is our third segment, so if you've missed the other two, please make sure to click on and watch those on demand. We are going to talk about your love for Jackson, the fact that Jackson is your hometown, and how proud we are of you, and how proud you are to be from our little town in West Tennessee. You are an acclaimed model, you're an actress, you've recently made your big screen debut in The Photograph, and you actually did an Instagram post that I want to read to folks who maybe have not seen it. And it just was a beautiful post. You said, "Picture this, a little girl from Tennessee followed her heart, pursued her dreams, and now I'm making my big screen debut. I can't even count the number of times I've been laughed at or told that a small town girl like me would never make it. Always believe in yourself." And that is a beautiful and poignant message. It also sheds light on no matter how glamorous and beautiful your life looks like from the
Mhm.
outside, it has come with struggle. So, talk a little bit about that.
You know, I, along the way, have been told so many times that what I was dreaming to do was a dream that was too big, and that maybe I should aim smaller. Or, there are a lot of people that just made me feel like I was ridiculous for daring to think outside the box and have such a large dream. And, along the way, I have definitely been discriminated against for my gender, for my skin color, for even being Southern. There were people that thought that that would keep me from making it. And, it hasn't always been easy, but it has been worth it. So, my advice to people, especially those that are pursuing something that is not, not along the beaten path. Maybe you want
Mhm.
to do something that is in an artistic category that not a lot of people have an experience with. But don't let that stop you from chasing your dream. And don't let that minimize how hard you're willing to try to attain your goals.
You went to school here in Jackson at JCM, graduated from Jackson Central Mary, proud Cougar. And you
Hmm.
actually went to school for a semester at MTSU, you said?
Yeah, I did.
What was your major?
It was general studies at the time because, it was my freshman year. But
Right?
my goal was to major in marketing
Mhm.
with a minor in psychology. But then life happened and modeling happened, and here I am.
Modeling and then acting. You have two television shows, you have a movie. Right now, you're getting to take probably a well-needed break. So hopefully you have taken this time to relax a little bit. You know, you obviously have a great love for your hometown, the city of Jackson, and vice versa. What do you miss most about Jackson?
Oh, that's an easy one. My family,
Mhm.
my entire family still lives in Jackson. And I moved away from home when I was fairly young. I went to a semester of college and then I left. So I was 18 when I started to travel the world and pursue my dream. And I was fortunate enough to have a network of agents that made that fairly easy for me to do, or easy to have those contacts. But there were a lot of points of it that weren't easy, and one of those was being away from my family. So when I come back to Jackson, it is just so nice to be with my loved ones all in one
Mhm.
place, and I just revel in it. It's so great.
So tell me, give me names of places. Where do you like to go? I mean, are there people you need to see that are just necessities every time you come home?
For sure. One of the things that I really love to do is just drive through the countryside. I did
Oh,
not have a good appreciation for how beautiful Tennessee is until I moved
mhm.
away. I think I took it for granted when I lived there, but it is so lush and green. There are farms, there are animals. It is just a really beautiful state. So I love to just see that and experience it when I'm home. And then I always go to visit my brother Elvis at City Hall because he is an assistant planner for the city of Jackson. Both my mom
Mhm.
and brother have worked for the city for their entire careers. And I just love to go to City Hall and just kind of see my brother, but also touch base with the people who are working really hard to keep Jackson as the wonderful place I remember, but also to improve and expand it in any way they can. So sometimes, you know, the last time I was there, I got to chat with the mayor and some of his staff. And so I just really love going to City Hall to have that experience.
That's awesome. What about home cooking? Do you miss some Jackson food?
I miss it so much. It's one of the things I do when I come to Jackson, eat. It's one
Yes.
of the biggest things I do. And I love to just, you know, get the home cooked meals I can get from my family. But also Jackson has some really great restaurants and a great assortment of
Right.
restaurants. It's just one of the things that I know I'm going to do when I come to town, eat and hang out with my family.
And how often do you get to come home? I know you have a pretty packed schedule.
I try to come home at least once or twice a year, at least, and then more if I can. But that is the
Mhm.
minimum. I need a good dose of Jackson at minimum once or twice a year.
Now, you started your modeling career while you were still a student at JCM. You were a theater student under Miss Becky Fly. So you have gotten to work with a lot of really cool people on television and in film. She has also done her share of work in film. Have you thought about what it would be like if you got a role and the two of you were on the same set?
Oh, we've talked about it before. I talk to Becky a lot. So Miss Fly and I still keep in touch. And I think it would be a dream come true for us both. It would just be a little
Mhm.
slice of heaven. And she's just so much fun. I love
Yes.
her personality. So I can only imagine how much fun she and I would have on set together. And also just to work with my first acting mentor and the woman who kind of just taught me to really respect the theater and taught me that it can be something that is within my reach. And I think that's the most important gift that she left me with. So getting a chance to work with her in a professional capacity would just be a dream come true.
You know, she just retired a few years ago. No telling how many young lives she has touched, and teachers really can make a difference in your life.
Yes, teachers matter. The work teachers do. And I really think that they don't get the acknowledgement and thanks that they deserve. But I would really love to take this moment to say thank you, teachers, because I can honestly say I wouldn't be on this career path if it wasn't for a teacher. And there are a lot of students that may never tell you how important you were to them, but you are important to us all. So thank you.
Now, you have some pretty awesome roles. Not only are you on Dynasty, you're on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, you're in the movie The Photograph. Do you have any other big plans coming up that you can share with us?
Well, COVID has thrown everything off. So I'm not sure about the release date of things anymore. And the start date of things has been kind of
Mhm.
moved around. So for now, I will stay mum until I know more. And then and then I'll let
Mhm.
you guys know when I know exactly the date that things are gonna be released.
So has it been frustrating just kind of being in a holding pattern?
It has been, you know, I guess I go back and forth with it. There are days where it's really nice to have that downtime. And there are
Mhm.
days where I'm just like, I can't take this anymore. I need to go do something. I need to get back to my job. I need to get back to doing what I love. And I think that we will get back to it really soon. It's looking like my industry is finally starting to reopen and slowly starting to come back to life. So that is really promising. And I can't wait.
Oh, that's awesome. When you do go back to work, a lot has changed in our world since COVID hit. Not only did we have a worldwide pandemic, but, in subjects that we've talked about previously, our world has been forced to face some very real issues about race and how we see other people. Do you see the entertainment industry changing and it being different when you do go back to work?
I certainly hope so. And I think that behind the scenes, there are a lot of talks that are happening right now that need to happen amongst Black actors and
Mhm.
executive producers and showrunners and networks. And I know that I myself am participating in some of those talks. And even if we don't publicize that we're doing it, the reason we're not publicizing it is because the work that needs to be done behind the scenes by the people who are in a position to make decisions and choices. So I certainly hope that this moment is a fork in the road and that we go the right way and that we don't look back, because that is the way forward.
Are you getting the response that you would hope for in these discussions?
Yes, I think that what is great about the moment we're having now as a country and as a society is that people who weren't necessarily as open to listening to you before understand that they have to now. That it's no longer an option to turn the other way or look the other way or sweep things under the rug. And I think another important thing is that people are starting to realize that inaction and silence is a part of the problem. So it's not enough for you to just disagree. You have to be vocal about that. And if you're a person that's in a position of power, you have to do something about that. So that is one great thing that is happening out of all of this, because there's a lot of things that you can't put a positive spin on. We've all been hurt by these current events. But I think that if there's any positive way to look at it, is that is finally forcing a change in the world and policy making and in the entertainment industry.
Well, we definitely hope. We have a lot of hope for the days ahead.
Yeah.
The United Way of West Tennessee is big in providing hope for people throughout our community by providing much needed services, especially during this COVID crisis. So if you can donate to this wonderful organization, we encourage you to do so. Wakeema, thank you so much for being willing to help out the United Way. We wish we could have heard you speak in person, but this is the next best thing, and it's always good to catch up. I do have one final question for you. You do a lot of interviews, so you probably get asked a lot of the very same questions. So what is a question that you wish you'd be asked?
Well, I love that you asked me that. And I will say that because people don't realize that I originally wanted to act and that it was my first true love, then they never think to ask me about the moment that I got bit by the acting bug and that I fell in love with it. And that moment has always been very important to me because I was in sixth grade.
Wow.
And we were studying women's suffrage at school, and the teacher gave us the option to do an extra credit project. And most kids bought in poster board and stuff like that. But my mom, Frances, was like, why don't we do a moving picture? So we went to the Goodwill and we found like this huge photo frame and put it on an easel. We found me a little suffragette, a costume, and she wrote me an abbreviated version of Sojourner's truth speech that has come to be known as Ain't I a Woman? And I thought I was going to get bullied. I thought I was going to get laughed out of the classroom, but I did it anyway. I was so excited to do it. And when I finished, the entire class stood up and gave me a standing ovation, and I was hooked. So I have to say thank you to my mother. You have been amazing. You've been a great influence and a great support. And more than that, an inspiration. So thank you, Mom. And also thank you to United Way. The work you do is very important. And thank you for being so supportive of me. Everyone at the United Way has been absolutely amazing. So keep doing what you do because it really makes a difference in our community.
Wakeema, we cannot thank you enough. And you know, the CEO of the United Way of West Tennessee is actually a former classmate of yours.
Yes.
Yes,
Matthew.
Matt Marshall, I know. So I'm sure you have many stories, and we will put those on in a different segment. He's standing nearby and it's not going to let me do that. But we just thank you so much for being here and for your support and for loving your hometown because we love you back.
Oh, that's so great. And it feels good to know how true that is. So thank you, Keli. Thank you, everyone. This has been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wakeema. Stay safe.
You too.
Bye, everybody.
Hello, my name is Anita K. Archer, and I am chair of the Women's Leadership Council of the United Way of West Tennessee.
And my name is Matt Marshall, and I have the pleasure to serve as President and CEO of United Way of West Tennessee.
The times we are living in have presented several challenges for us all, especially our ability to socially engage with one another in close personal contact.
And so many of us have had to create new daily practices for work and home.
We've seen our economy negatively impacted as friends and family have been laid off and businesses have been forced to shut their doors.
Even our nonprofit partners have faced challenges to fundraise after having to cancel chief events amid this pandemic.
Even our First Ladies Luncheon was not immune, but we are so thankful to still present you this opportunity to hear Wakeema. She is a jewel of the Jackson community.
And in the midst of this challenging time, we ask that you would please consider donating to United Way. We're working hard every day to prop up nonprofits in the community so that no one journeys through this pandemic alone.
You can give by simply clicking the donate button on your screen.
And we thank you for your support of United Way. 14 counties strong, we are West Tennessee.